Hi, I thought it would be really fun while I'm here out in the country at Mountain Quest in the mountains of West Virginia to do a little bit of a plant walk for this week's Plant Teaching Thursday. I've seen a few herbs that I know, but as always, a lot that I don't. So I thought I would just walk around and identify a few that I do know. So here we go. So I'm going to start here and show you guys kind of where most of the herbs I usually find grow. So you're going to see that there's grass, and then there's like the edge where the cut grass meets the taller grass. And so what we're looking for is just sort of what's growing along the edges. And a lot of our medicinal herbs like to grow in slightly disturbed soil. So the first one we're going to look for. So the first plant that I see here on the edge is one of my all-time favorites, and this is Yarrow. So zooming in, you can see it's got a very kind of feathery-like quality. Here's another plant, and the Latin name is Achillea millifolium, and millifolium means thousand leaves. So this is a pretty common plant. You can find it most places, and it's just, an incredible medicinal plant. It's great for wounds. It stops bleeding, antibacterial, antiseptic. So topically, and you just basically would kind of pull off a leaf, chew it in your mouth, make it into like a little spitty poultice, and just stick it right on your wound. And that's just a really another use for yarrow is as a diaphoretic. So, to help a fever have a, full effect, so it can help the body to mount an immune response to kill off any sort of bacteria or any sort of infection. So it's a really nice warming herb for that. And then it's also slightly bitter, and it has some great properties that can help with digestion as well. So just a really cool plant, also under the rulership of Mercury, and you can kind of tell that from its name. Achillea, linked to Achilles, linked to Mercury. So great, awesome plant. Here's another great plant, another common one. So I guess today's theme might be the more common plants, but this is red clover. And you can tell because of the three leaves, and you can see those little kind of white V or arrow shapes. And there's a story about it being the mark of the white buffalo, and so it's said that it has very powerful protective qualities, and in some traditions considered white buffalo medicine. But really, I think what I think about its use is more for kind of a depurative or kind of blood cleansing. So for someone where there's stagnation or there's been long-term chronic sickness, it's a really nice plant. Also for, it's shown a lot of promise in cancer treatment, and not, necessarily as a standalone treatment, but along with maybe more kind of modern approaches, but it can really help protect. It has a really protective quality for the cells, so it can actually help prevent damage to the cells from radiation and chemotherapy. Is one of its touted effects. It also has some kind of weak phytoestrogens, so it can also help with low estrogen during times of transition like menopause, or infertility, where if there's a lower amount of estrogen in the body. So it's a really beautiful plant, and I love the flowers, and just the they come in different colors. Red clover, there's white clover, so there's different colored flowers. This one I don't know because it's not in bloom, but it looks like bigger leaves, so it looks like it might be the red clover. So our last plant for today, I was actually quite surprised to find, is peppermint, and it's growing right here, right along a creek. So there's gardens around, so it's possible it migrated maybe from one of the gardens next to the house all the way over here. A lot of the plants in the mint family are quite invasive. They spread quite prolifically. They're considered to be ruled under the element of fire, and in particular peppermint, which is this one here, Mentha piperita, it is under the rulership of Mars. So you know, it's fiery, aggressive, but it gets the job done. It's a very effective, powerful herb. So you know, the best way to identify it, is there's a square stem. So that's one helpful bit. Sort of these spear-like, flame-like leaves. And then of course the smell. So, you know, if there's enough of it around, which there usually is, just crushing up the leaf a little bit and then giving it a little sniff, and boy, yeah, that is definitely peppermint. So peppermint is a really great carminative, which means it's helpful for digestion. It just sort of gets the digestive fluids going. It's especially helpful for like gas. That's a nice one for this, nice use for this plant. It's also interestingly warming. You know, a lot of people think of peppermint as cool, and it has a cool taste because of the mint or the menthol, but it's actually considered to be a warming plant. So it can also be used during fevers to help a fever find its full expression. So that's most of what I know. I like to use it in sort of spirit medicine for people who have a hard time kind of getting themselves motivated. They need a little bit more Martian or Mars-like energy. They need more fire. They need a little, fire under their seat. And I think peppermint is a great motivating plant to get us to, you know, hop to it and go. So, yeah, a really nice one. If you're going to grow it at home, I recommend growing it in a pot. Otherwise, it's going to just take over wherever it can. So, peppermint.